and it was PG. But, and in Pebble it did too. I don't know how long though.
Someday we'll underground power lines. Someday. Be amazing.
I'll talk to Dale about that. He gave me the whole latest lecture on that. I don't know how he does time or has time for research, but he's got that all wired, knowing about underground amongst other things. And he's got a plan for down on Santa Lucia State, I think it is. There's some plan that he's working on with that group. Oh,
San Antonio.
San Antonio.
There he is. San Antonio, yeah. Dale is up on all that.
They've been talking about undergrounding for as long as I've been working for this city, which is 15 years.
Yeah, 25. I've heard them talk about it, so too. But now it's so expensive, I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't lose power in my neighborhood, but I live up the street from a power station. We generally have only had flickers, and I only know this because my stove light gets reset. So right now it says it's like 3:50 in the morning. It's never right because of those flickers, but I'm glad that I didn't lose power because it's a chilly weekend.
Should we just wait another minute for Ellen?
Yeah, let's give Ellen another minute. And then we'll get rolling.
Where's Judy?
She's right there.
Oh, I can't see Judy. I can't. Well, I only can see Ashley.
You have to put it on group mode, and then you can see the whole gang.
I put it on participants.
I'm here.
You just have to do on gallery or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's gallery instead of speaker.
Share screen.
Top right corner. It should say view.
Oh, yes.
If you switch to gallery, then you can see everybody like a Brady Bunch.
Okay. There's Judy. Hi, Judy. Hi, John. Like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, it was 36. I drove Charlotte to school this morning. It was 36. It's cold. Did you text her or anything? I mean,
I'll send her over an email. She's been a few minutes tardy before.
Yeah.
So I'll email her a reminder right now. And then but if you want to get rolling, we can do public appearances and minutes before we get into the meat of things with the after actions.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We can do that. It's 9.
And I'll keep an eye on email.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Well, then let's call the meeting to order at 9:32 officially, and Leslie, let's roll call.
Linda Calafiore.
Present.
Donna Jett.
Present.
Ellen Martin is absent. Judy Raffurza.
Here.
Present. Oh, Ellen is here.
There she is.
Great. And John Mysick.
Present.
We're all here. Thank you very much.
Great. Any announcements from commissioners? Okay. Announcements from staff.
My announcements are just to thank everybody who participated in our events this year. I know Leslie wrote a very nice message in the Friday letter last week, but thank you all for all of the work you've done. We had another successful event season, and I'm looking forward to going into planning, but we can't do this without our Public Works Department, Police Department, all of you, our commissioners, and a special shout out to Margie and Leslie, who did the real heavy lifting of planning and everything. They did an amazing job on all of the events, and it was a very, very fun year. So thank you all.
Yeah, I just did not say during announcements, but yes, the Christmas activity
was amazing. I was sitting next to Donna because she always saves a seat for somebody. Yeah, everyone was just so happy to be out, and the crowd was thrilled, and the program was wonderful. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. If there's nothing else, we'll go to public appearances. Somebody,
I'll say
Dale?
something. This is Dale Byrne.
please, Dale. You're
Yeah, first, I'd like to ditto what Ashley just said. It's, coming out of the pandemic, it's been really great to watch this team come through for the city, and also the partnership they have with all the other organizations in the city. And Carmel Cares has enjoyed sort of being in the background, helping where we can. And we're looking forward to helping maybe even more next year. If you reach out to us, I'll be attending the meetings, and hopefully Janice will too. And we'd like to help any way that we can to make your life easier. But thank you so much. You really did a great job this year, and I'm proud of all you.
Thank you, Dale.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dale. Thanks for all you've done for the city as well. Any other public appearances? Okay. I guess moving on to orders of business, approval for the minutes for November 8th regular meeting. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Linda Calafiore,
Yes.
Donna Jett,
Yes.
Ellen Martin,
Yes.
Judy Refuerzo,
Yes.
John Mysick.
Yes.
Approved. Thank you.
Great. After action report for for Veterans Day ceremony, Home Crafters Marketplace, and holiday celebration. Getting ahead of myself.
I know, maybe we do need a Valentine's Day celebration of sorts.
Yeah.
So I'll be giving the staff report, and Leslie will be helping me. So Veterans Day, we partnered with the American Legion, as we do every year, for Veterans Day and Memorial Day ceremony. The American Legion Post 512 worked with them on the program and getting everything set up for that. We had Glastonbury there again to do the sound, which I think is something that we're going to continue going forward. It really helps in the park with to block out some of that ambient noise and to counter some of the issues we have with people being reluctant to speak directly into microphones. So, and then we had lots of singing, and thanks to our Commissioner Martin Allen for donating flag pins, and those were handed out, and small flags, and those were handed out during the event in addition to the programs, and people were really thrilled by that and very grateful to receive them, some of our veterans in particular. And then the Carmel River School Choir. We've had over the years different elements of Veterans Day and Memorial Day programs. We've had RLS students come and sing, and this year the River School came and sang some patriotic songs for us, and it was a excellent event, well attended, no major incidents or anything of note. And if there's no questions, I will move on to Home Crafters Marketplace, which is completely different in size and scale. So this year we had the Home Crafters Marketplace. That was Saturday, November 19th. Thank you all who were there with us at 4:30 in the morning, 4:45 in my case, but 4:30 in the morning to work this event. Prior to that, we held the jurying in July at the Women's Club. Thank you to the Women's Club for hosting us again this year. We used to hold jurying in early September, and by request of the vendors, they said we need more time to create our products. Could you move back the jurying? So we moved it back to late July, but that I think was a little too early. So we're going to try and see if we can find a sweet spot in August, somewhere around Car Week, of course, and see if we can find a balance with that. We had 67 vendors participate, and then 3 last-minute cancellations, which is typical. There's always, family emergencies or medical things, or just humans being humans. This year, we also had the Nitro Cycle come. They're one of our farmers market vendors, and they are at lots of different events all over the peninsula. So we had them there first thing in the morning to be serving hot coffee and drinks to everybody. And that was very much appreciated, because while we do have the Lions there and they're wonderful, it takes them a little bit longer to get set up, and because it's more of an elaborate setup. So we were able to have hot coffee starting at 6 o'clock. And I know I had hot cider, and it was the most delicious thing I ever had, and my hands were so warm. So thanks to NitroCycle, and we'll work with them and see if there's other opportunities for them to participate in events like tree lighting, to have something available there. We also partnered with All Saints Episcopal Church, Church of the Wayfarer, and the Carmel Women's Club on advertising, because each of those organizations had craft fairs as well. This is a return to what we did in 2019, which I think people enjoy because they get to bop between all the different craft fairs and see all the wares. It's a really fun and lively feeling around town if you walk around on that market day or the Home Crafters Day, where all of the different things are happening. And we got that word out, via the pine cone. And then we also had shared postcards printed, and those were delivered to the local hotels to let people who were staying here know what was happening. And that's something we've done in the past. It seems to be effective. We've had some good feedback from vendors after the event about how well organized it is and easy in, easy out. A little hairy at the end of the day, but mostly, especially in the morning, it's pretty well organized. And I will say that Margie was at the top of the ramp checking people in, and this was the least grouchy people have been. And I think it's because she was handing out candy as everyone drove in to soften them up. But we do get, it's 4:30 in the morning. Everybody's going to be a little cold and grouchy. But this year was really nice, and our vendors are wonderful, and the event went well. And thanks to, of course, Public Works crew too for being there to help with our setup and helping with the lions and tables and chairs. They're great. One of the things that we do want to work on is the perpetual issue in Carmel, which is parking, and making improvements to signage, and where we have no parking limits, and making sure we've got good pickup, well-marked pickup and drop-off areas, and working on where spaces are for vendors to line up. With the Women's Club too, doing their break-in, load in, load out type of thing at the end of the day, we want to work with them to make sure they've got spaces marked off, and we're coordinating with them as we're also doing our breakdown so that there's not a traffic jam there on San Carlos. And that's easy. That just takes a call to the Women's Club and figuring that thing out. So we're just going to continue to work on trying to make parking and all of that around the marketplace, especially since we've got all these different craft things going on around town, better, so that people, our shoppers who are coming to town for that day, don't immediately get frustrated by parking. Probably will be a little frustrated, but hopefully we can minimize some of that. So that's the big thing that we'll be thinking about for Home Crafters for next year, besides shifting the jurying a little bit. But otherwise, the event ran very smoothly, and it was a lovely day, and it warmed up nicely. And then our final one is the holiday celebration on Friday, December the 2nd. That's always the first Friday in December. It started off with Buddy the Elf, aka Dave Jednak from the fire department, touring Santa around downtown. That was a sight to see. He arrived at the park at 3 to visit with the kids. And then we also had the Del Monte Brass playing initially in the park. And they played some songs for the menorah lighting as well. The menorah lighting began at 4 o'clock. That always features singing of traditional Hanukkah songs, and then the lighting of the menorah. And then the program that we've had on the stage began at 4:30. This year we had our MC was Ben Beasley. He's previously been an MC for us, and we asked him if he would take that role on again. He's a great MC. He really researches the things he's going to be talking about and the groups, and cares about what he does and being in that community role. We really appreciate the great work that he did. And then we had our local schools participate, and kids. So we had the dance center, River School, the high school, chamber singers, and the cheerleaders, and a number of different individual singers. We did have Miles Davis popped up on stage impromptu, which was wonderful. I know some of you know him from past programs. He was in the Christie Minstrel Singers, and there's a underground cult following of them, and so people come to see Miles, and so it was nice to be able to accommodate that. And the tree was lit just after 5:30, and overall everything went really well. No huge proposed changes at this time, but we are still looking at having some sort of hot cocoa, food, drink, cookies, something like that. And I'm wondering if there's something we can do in partnership with maybe Carmel Plaza, because they have their program afterwards. So I'll be reaching out to them. We also, of course, have NitroCycle, as I mentioned earlier. But I think that would be a nice addition to that event, because it is a chilly night. And that is my after action report. Are there any questions?
Linda?
I just have a comment about home crafters. Again, rousing success. And what's really inspiring is how people thank me, vendors, when they leave the parking lot. I mean, I've just never seen, people express thanks to, me in my little orange jacket, who have nothing to do with their wonderful experience other than, showing up early. And they're just so effusive. It's wonderful. And then just one funny story, someone in my lane, I was in the last lane, as people were picking up and everyone's, much more frantic to get out. And this gentleman backed up from the exit to get to his space in the lane row. And I said, what are you doing? What are you doing? He said, well, I mean, there's such a line to get in. I'm like, yeah. Anyway, we were able, because there was some extra room in that last lane over on the street side. I mean, we were able to get him over there. But anyway, it's kind of amusing. There's always
one who comes in backwards, or two that come in backwards. Yeah.
I thought it was great that we had, I guess the 12-year-old girl who had, made bracelets and other items to sell. It was fantastic. And it was neat to see that my kids could recognize that, hey, one of their peers had done something, was involved with her family. I thought that was a really cool ad this year. I was really grateful for them to even show and to put in the effort.
Yeah.
Donna?
No, I think it was very organized. And it was worth getting up, and somebody's got to get up. I mean, that's the other issue. And if it's not us, who's going to? But I thought it was great. And then the women's club, we had vendors there, some members, some non-members. And it was interesting because there was different wares, a few things I'd never seen before. And some sold a whole lot. They had garden gnomes, and people couldn't buy them quick enough. I mean, gnomes, little things for your garden, and then other items. So we didn't make a lot of money, but we called it very successful. And we're thrilled to be in the foursome. And it was great because we had people who didn't know our building was there, never been inside, on their way to All Saints. So, and just to see people on the streets in Carmel, it's the only time you see them on the streets going from place to place. So I think it's a great community event, as all of our events are. So thank you.
Great. Thank you, Ashley, and thanks to the whole staff for all the work you put into these events. I guess are there any public comments? Okay, let's move on to the approval of the 2023 meeting calendar.
All right, so every year at this time, we adopt a meeting calendar for the following calendar year. So you have that as an attachment there. The proposed meeting dates are, of course, continuing the second Tuesday of the month. I think that at this point, we should be good with all the proposed meeting dates in terms of conflicts for things. So I'll let the commission decide, since you're the commissioners, what direction you want to go in with the calendar.
I mean, the only thing I would bring up is it feels like historically we did skip a month in the summer. And then I think this year we ended up not doing a meeting in August, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think we
Actually,
moved our meeting later to in July and kind of did a combined thing. I do that around the holidays with the library board of trustees because our meetings fall on Thanksgiving and Christmas respectively. So if we want to do a later in July meeting in lieu of and do a combined July, August, we can do that if the group is amenable. Or we can keep the July meeting the same and just not do August because August is a lot with Car Week and the ramp up to Car Week.
I mean, anybody have any thoughts on that? On
No,
either of those proposals?
No, I would agree that what Leslie just suggested, to do a joint meeting in July or whatever the group really wants. I think we're all just amenable to it, whatever we've decided or decide. Do we need a motion to do a joint meeting or to skip a meeting or?
Yeah, we'll need a motion to adopt the calendar, even if you didn't make any changes, but yes, in particular, if you're making changes. So the options for July, if we scritch the August meeting out, are we can keep it the 11th and just do our regular meeting then. We can move it later and do the 18th or the 25th and keep it on a Tuesday, same time, 9:30 Tuesday. I don't know if any of you have travel plans stacked up quite yet.
I mean, that end of July is right before school starts. So I don't know.
Could we split the difference and do the 18th and just move it 1 week later and do middle of the month meeting? Won't interfere with school stuff. And if for some reason we need to revisit the calendar at some point in the year or talk about the July meeting, we can always do that. It's not set in stone. You guys can all re-vote and rework things. So
that would be July the 18th, and then the next one would be September the 12th.
that's right.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So it's like 6 weeks. It's not.
No, it's not.
And if there was something very, very important.
If there's something that came up, we can call a special meeting at any point in time and figure out a doodle poll and date and times that work for everybody if we need to. Absolutely.
Let me ask you this. If we have a special meeting, can we do it on Zoom if we decide, or do we have to do it in person? Since
No.
we voted to do to do in person in February.
We can do, well, we'll be doing hybrid. So no matter
Okay.
what we do, Zoom is always going to be a part of our lives forever and ever.
Okay.
Whether or not we as a group are sitting in a room, there will always be a Zoom component. So no, we do not need to make any changes that way. But thanks for asking.
So then I guess I'll make a motion to move the July meeting to the 18th, to eliminate the August meeting and to meet again in September as scheduled for this calendar,
Very good.
and approve the calendar otherwise. Donna, is that a second? Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I second it.
Linda Calafiore.
Yes.
Excuse me. Donna Jett.
Yes.
Ellen Martin.
Yes.
Judy Refuerzo.
Yes.
John Mysick.
Yes.
Approved. Thank you.
Okay. With that, any future agenda items? I guess, do I have to go to any public comment? Okay. Future agenda items?
Future agenda items. I don't have anything for the January meeting at this point in time. I'm always thinking about the strategic plan, but I would like to give Leslie, Margie, and I some time to regroup at the start of the new year as you all have the calendar over all of events that we're seeing come in. Some of them still have TBD dates because we think they'll happen then, but we'll still confirming with event organizers. So some time to talk about those things. and start planning for the new year. So at this point, I don't have anything unless we want to do a strategic plan review, which we're doing pretty well on the strategic plan. I check it monthly, sometimes weekly, depending on what I'm working on in terms of community activity stuff. So I'm happy to do a report out then, but I can always do in February as well. If anybody has anything that comes up that they want me to report out on, otherwise I will be brainstorming our next meeting and I'll work with you, John, on that.
Great. Any public comment on that?
No.
All right. With that, I think we're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Happy holidays.
Happy
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Thanks, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Bye, Ellen.
Bye-bye.